Lincoln Ware Live is the program. And my guest now, Frank Geers, and he's with the American Cornhole Organization. Is that correct? Now, you were in town for the Winter Sports Festival.
Correct.
That took place over at the Northern Kentucky Convention Center.
Correct, yep.
And I guess you're trying to make cornhole a national sport.
That's the game plan right now. We're working on it.
And I tell you, the cornhole has really grown in this area. You don't hear about it anyplace else, but I mean, this area, cornhole, is big. I mean, it is big, huge.
No, it's huge. It kind of started on the west side, and it finally has made its way over to the east side, and I mean, Cincinnati's crazy about their cornhole.
Even Carson Palmer of the Bengals, instead of having a golf tournament, he had a cornhole tournament down at the stadium.
No, that's correct. We actually helped run that tournament this year. They used our product down there. We ran the whole tournament.
Oh, okay.
And it went excellent. Okay. And you're exactly right. The great thing about cornhole is anybody can play it.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about it.
And I mean, and so you're trying to get ESPN to take notice of it, and who knows, they could have a cornhole tournament on ESPN. That would be something. That
would absolutely be something. That's our ultimate goal, is to get this on television.
Now, how many people was involved in the tournament you had over the weekend there?
Between the doubles and the singles, we had about 160 people involved. The singles, we had just shy of 70 that showed up. It was an excellent cast of players, though, that came down. High caliber quality. We had a couple come in from Chicago, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Louisville. So we had a few teams coming in from all over the area.
Okay, so that means that cornhole is going on in those cities.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So
and I tell you,
it's not just in the tri-state area here. It's going on all over.
Absolutely, and I think it's a lot of Cincinnatians that are taking it outside of the city.
Yeah.
Kids getting out of college and moving out to California or whatever.
And they're taking their little cornholes
They're taking it with them.
And where can people buy the cornhole? You see them everywhere. Some people even make their own.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you can buy cornhole at Kroger's, or the best place to buy it, though, is online at our store, AmericanCornhole.com.
Okay.
But we have a couple good retailers in Cincinnati as well, Coolest Toys, Ted's Toys, Milford, Terrace Park. Our product is a higher-end board at this point in time. It's called the Tournament Series. It's like a piece of furniture, Lincoln. It's very sharp.
Now, why do you think people gravitated to cornhole so much? Why do you think it just took off like it did?
Once again, I think I'd have to say it's just because anybody can play it. It's a simple game. It's a fun social game. It's portable. It can be indoor, outdoor. That's it. I mean, it's just, when you first see it, you're like, how can this be? You know, how can this be that fun? But once you get involved,
you get hooked on it. You really get hooked on it, and you just want to keep going and going and going.
Oh, absolutely.
I tell you, that's amazing, and it would be a good thing if this thing goes national and end up being a national sport, and you see it on ESPN. Who was the winner over the weekend here locally?
Well, Matt Guy ended up winning it. We had 4 gentlemen that made the top 4. We had a gentleman by the name of Matt Guy was the champion, who beat Theo Baca in a head-to-head battle. I actually brought the
And I would almost say, where is Matt from? Is he from the west side?
He is from Kentucky.
He's from Kentucky? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But you know, Matt was the favorite going into it. What we did with this tournament, Lincoln, was a little bit different than most cornhole tournaments. We actually had a qualifier round in the beginning, and what that was all about was setting up a position where players put themselves in a seeded spot. So Matt was the #1 seed after the qualifier rounds. And being the #1 seed, positioned himself to have the easiest road to the title. The way it worked out, though, it was actually the #1 seed and the #2 seed that ended up meeting for the championship game. Similar to like an NCAA bracket. We didn't do 64 teams this year. Next year we will do 64 teams. This year we did 32 teams. So what we had was that qualifier round of the 70 teams that came in. We had them play a couple rounds to do a traditional game. Do you know the traditional score game of cornhole?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. If you got to land, you get 2 points. What do you get? A point for each bag you land on the board.
Point on the board.
And if your opponent throws one, it negates your point.
Correct.
And if you get one in the hole, it's 3 points.
Correct.
And if your partner gets one in the hole and you have one in the hole, you have 0 points.
Right, so your competitor, when you're playing your competitor, and the traditional 21 negation is just that. 1 point on the board, 0 off the board, 3 points in the hole, the cornhole. And it is a negation game. What we did, though, for the qualifier round was something a little different. One of the things we're working on structuring is creating a handicap for the sport. What we've noticed with the bar leagues and stuff, working around the town with them, is that there's a couple problems with the traditional game. We love the traditional game. We're not trying to get rid of the traditional game. We're just trying to change some things with some things. Is that the time that it takes to play a game, when you get either two very good people together or two very bad people together,
they keep negating each other's score, and you can
go on
forever.
for 40 minutes, an hour. So it really hurts.
So how are you going to change that?
We developed a program that's a 13-frame game. Okay, you play like innings. So kind of like bowling, is if you and I were partners, I would toss my 4 bags for the first frame. You would then toss for us the next time, which would be frame 2.
Okay.
We would score my frame, and then we would score your frame, and then I'd be tossing frame 3 again, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, because it can go on and on and on.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you guys are working on that. But now they're having this Winter Sports Festival. Is this every year, an every year event? Or
this is the first year that it's really the kickoff inaugural year for it. Outstanding group of people to work with. It was on the Cincinnati side of the river at the convention center there and the Northern Kentucky Convention Center. They had like 12 different sports down there. Gymnastics, men's and women's, wrestling, archery, cornhole. It was really nice to be invited to put our venue at their event.
And did you see anybody from maybe the ESPN network around?
Nah, Lincoln, I didn't see anybody unless there was somebody undercover there, but there wasn't anybody I saw.
So how do you plan on bringing this to their attention?
Well, we're working with some good people right now. We actually have, Matt Gray is a person that we're working with to possibly take King of Cornhole to another level.
And you know, this very own TV station aired, we had a King of Cornhole tournament, and it was on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
You know, last summer, so this past summer.
Well, we're going to get it back.
So we'll probably do it again. It was very popular. A lot of people entered, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal. So, I mean, Cornhole is taking off, and each year it gets bigger and bigger. You see that family reunions, and everywhere. People are doing this. They're out barbecuing, and you see the cornhole going.
Well, that's it.
I think I need to practice a little more because I've always been on the losing end every time I've played. So.
Oh, yeah, you and me both. I haven't done so well myself, Lincoln.
How did you convince the Winter Sports Festival organizers to let you in with this cornhole? How did you convince them of that?
I don't know. I guess it was just lucky. Lucky to be a part of a good thing going on for the city. And glad that they asked us to be a part of it because it was a great venue for us to promote our game.
Now, give your locations around town where people can play. You know, some of the bars and places like that where it's ongoing.
Well, there's porch of all sorts, but the biggest one that we promote is a place called Sneaky Pete's in Milford. It by far is the best place that we've come across from a court-wise.
Now, it's funny you say the best place is Sneaky Pete's in Milford, which is on the east side of town.
Yeah.
You would figure it would be on the west side of town.
No, it is. It is. There's a lot of other good places out there as well.
Now, I mean, did you see dollar signs when you said, I'm going to start making these cornhole boxes and
I
did.
did.
Did you think people would buy them, or they would just sit in a warehouse somewhere?
Well, I did think that people would start buying them, and I did think I'd see dollar signs, but Lincoln, right now, I haven't seen the dollar signs yet. I'm hoping that comes one of these days. We're working with the Dayton Bombers up in that we run a tailgate zone for them. University of Cincinnati, we're getting ready to develop a basketball tailgate zone for them within their arenas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you go down to the Bengals tailgating areas, and people are playing cornhole instead of football.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, it gets addictive.
Now, you married?
I'm married.
What did your wife say when you decided to get into the cornhole business?
I don't know. She hasn't seen me for the last year and a half as I've been trying to build this company for us.
Yeah, okay. Well, I tell you what, you have done all the right things because this game is growing by leaps and bounds. And, I mean, it's just a great, fun game. And anybody can play it. It just takes a little practice.
That's exactly it.
I can't seem to hold the bean bags in the right, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I guess there's a technique to how you hold them when you throw them.
There's and again, Matt Guy probably is the best one to do an instructional video on how to toss. But
I'm more of the spin type.
Yep.
I like to spin mine. It seems like when it hits the board, it won't slide off if you do the spin.
Yep, kind of just plunks there.
Yeah.
there is a strategy behind the game and stuff like that, and it's amazing. It was a joy to watch the finals of our event. It was almost being like being at a tennis match, you know. The crowd was quiet. There was a little turmoil that was going on with people bantering back and forth during the tosses, but it was like watching a chess match or a tennis match, and it was intense. It was a joy to watch, actually.
Now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of knockoff products out there, people trying to, you know, make the cornhole stuff, and, you know, what makes your product better than some of the other knockoffs out there?
Well, I mean, one of the things when we started our company, AmericanCornhole.com, our products company, was we set out to say there was already a lot of cornhole products in the industry. But everybody was beating themselves up over making the cheapest board. I mean, everybody was trying to get under $100. You know, you could, like we talked before, you can see the press board ones in Kroger's. You got the plastic board ones. And what we said is, okay, well, let's go somewhere where nobody else is. Let's go to the higher end of it. And we contracted and worked closely with a great furniture-making company up north to produce our boards for us. So that was one thing. We wanted to create the best product in the market. The second thing that we did, Lincoln, was we wanted to brand ourselves. So, and we wanted to brand ourselves like the NBA, like the Major League Baseball, and look like the one. This is our tote bag that we use to carry our bags in. Okay. But just to show you kind of the quality of product that we have, that's our soft touch bag. That's and you see, he's looking for the toss.
I do the spin.
And I do kind of a mad guy flat toss, a pancake toss.
Yeah.
Hey, but you can see what we've done is we've incorporated our brand in everything that we do.
And this is definitely good. I've you know, felt some other bean bags here. And this is definitely good quality here.
Yeah,
definitely.
And this, you can feel, if you can feel it, it's a resin in here, and it's about a one pound bag. And what's different about it too is it obviously doesn't have corn in it anymore. We had corn in the beginning, but Carnival Cruise was the one that kind of moved us towards this. And the benefit to the resin in here is that the bags don't mildew. When they get wet, they dry out the same. And also, with corn, they eventually crush and wear down. Plus, animals eat them all the time.
You said Carnival Cruise, so these things are on cruise lines now?
Oh, absolutely.
So
instead
of shuffleboard,
they're playing cornhole. They're playing American cornhole.
Well, I'm going on a cruise in January, so maybe they'll have cornhole on the ship. Maybe they'll have a tournament.
Well, is it which cruise?
It's Carnival. It's Carnival.
Is it Carnival?
Yeah.
Well, they will have it.
Okay.
You have to tell me which boat is going on.
Okay. So yeah, maybe I need to practice up.
Absolutely.
To win the tournament. And I'll be good to go. Hey, it's always good to see you, Frank, and looking forward to seeing you next year for the big Winter Sports Festival.